All right, back to it again. It's 2017 Dong Fang 250cc. I've put roughly, I say now I'm thinking about maybe right at 2,000 miles. Had it for about 5 months, 5-6 months. I ride. I'm gonna show y'all this problem that I had. The first problem I had was the breakage. I guess the stress on the exhaust, and I tried to put a bead on it, weld it back up, and it breaks again. Have no idea why. That's the first problem I've had. Here, there's a bolt here that actually supports the bottom backside of the engine, and I realized the engine was shaking, making it was rattling a little. I happened to give a thorough inspection, and I noticed this bolt had slipped out and the nut was gone. So I went and picked up a replacement. I pulled a bolt, took it to Home Depot and got a replacement and put a fresh nut on it, wash it and everything. That's one issue I've had. Also, the stock exhaust that came with this, because I got it brand new. I replaced it with this one. The stock exhaust actually started to crack and was seeping real bad right in here. So I removed everything from it, and I went online and ordered this carbon fiber exhaust, and it actually gives me more RPM and a little more, stretch on the gears. I can actually go out a little bit longer. So this is my review here. I like this bike, it's something that you can actually enjoy on city streets and back roads, wherever you want to prefer. I wouldn't prefer interstate where the speed is at least 70 and up. My bike fell over while I was trying to put the exhaust spring on, and I was pushing the bike away while I was trying to pull the spring to hook it, and it fell over in the garage and broke the edge off my clutch there. One more thing, you always want to check all your adjustments and everything. Excuse this, the wear and everything. I had, was testing out some, what is it called? The plastic dip. And, over time, it just starts to wear off. But this here, I realized that this actually was kind of loose. I had to tighten it up. Because, the vibration from the bike will eventually give off, it'll work things loose. So I would advise anyone that owns one of these bikes to go around and check all your nuts and bolts. I do it pretty frequently. I also installed an alarm system on here. This is far from being accurate. I'm gonna tell you that now. Even a guy that I follow on YouTube that has these bikes, I think he has 2 of them. One is his, one is his wife's. I mean, even, I asked him a few comments about, hey, how did you upgrade the speedometer? So I'm actually in the middle of ordering a replacement, one that works way well, way more accurate. It's a cold start. I haven't started in several days, so Oh, another thing, the heat. I've noticed the heat from the exhaust, which I may go ahead and put an exhaust wrap on it, started to warp the fairing here in this location, right in here. See, it started to warp. So I'm actually looking into maybe installing a actual fan inside of here, maybe like an 8-inch fan that will keep the engine a little bit cooler. But I love the sound from the aftermarket exhaust versus the stock one. So this is my 2017 STR Dong fang. I've actually removed some of the decals and stickers because I'm actually going to have this bike painted, and this, well, I'm going to remove that as well. But it's an excellent bike. Even if you're a beginner, it's perfect. Unlike myself, I've had bikes before, much bigger, and something just to cruise around the city streets and have a good time with. It's perfect. It is perfect. You know, I pass a lot of vehicles from red light to red light on this thing. Also, another thing, I would say, if the guy that I follow up here changed out his sprocket, I definitely would love to do that. Definitely. And if anybody knows, if it's possible, if anybody knows, let me turn this off. If possible, if anybody knows if this swing arm, the stock swing arm on these Dong fang, the STR, if they can actually fit a wider tire. Not big, not you know, too much more, but just a little bit wider. You know, something with a little more, you know, roundness to it. I understand sticking with the stock size is, you know, is always best recommendation. But I mean, like I'm saying, I'm not really going out and, you know, trying to race this thing or anything like that. You know, I just would like to know when it's time to replace this tire, if I can get a better looking one and one that's maybe a little bit wider. If there's any recommendations, please drop the comments in the box below. Also, one thing I wanted to say, your rear views, they tend to start to get loose after a while, and the vibration from the bike and everything, they will, you know, you can adjust them, and then as you drive along, they'll drop back down. They're really not that supportive, and they definitely have to change these. I mean, like I said, overall, the bike is fine. It runs great. I love it. And there's so many different things, so many different mods and things you could do to this little bike. And I do believe that the 250cc Honda CBR Honda 250 pretty much has the same structure as this bike. So, well, if it's not the exact same, there's close. There's a lot of parts that can be used from that one to this one. because this is basically the Chinese copycat of that 250 CBR Honda. And I would love to know also if there's anyone that ever had one of these type of bikes. Can you have that engine bored? If anybody knows a company or whatever that can actually bore these engines and make them a little more powerful, please feel free and drop that information in the comment box below. Because, I mean, I would, instead of replacing it, I was thinking about actually putting maybe a 300cc bike motor on it. Go from the 250 to a 300. But I thought about it and said, hey, why not just have this particular 250 bored and make it maybe what, a 270 or 280 something, you know, close to a 300. You know, if anybody has that information, please feel free to let me know. I love this bike. The stopping power is great. Works like a charm. That's about all. Signing out. If anybody have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know. Have a good one.